It being 7 o'clock on Thursday, July 10th, 2025, call to order the hearing for the Planning Board. This meeting is being recorded for live broadcast and televised replay by Bourne TV. If anyone is audio or visually recording, please acknowledge at this time. All items within the meeting agenda are subject to deliberation and votes. First agenda item is the meeting minutes from June 26, 2025. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Motion from Jim,
Second.
second from Liz. Any discussion on the minutes? We'll take a vote. Amanda?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Jim?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Dan?
Absolutely. No.
Corinne abstains. The chair, yes. Next up on our agenda is the application for site plan review, special permit number 10-2025, 21 St. Margaret Street. The application is to construct a 17,420 square foot hotel, 4 stories high with 97 rooms in the downtown district. This has been continued from June 26, 2025. And the floor is yours.
Thank you. Once again, for the record, Tim Power with PVI Site Design, civil engineer record for the applicant. With me is Michael Radner from High Point Engineering, who is our landscape architect. And we have representatives from the ownership group, Ashok Patel and Archit Patel, here with any questions. So just to recap where we are, I've put some of the plans, the nice new landscape plan up on the screen. It's the best one to look at with all the colors. Wrap up where we were. The last meeting, we presented a handful of changes that came out of the design review board, sort of on short notice. So the documents we submitted were primarily that information formally to you. A couple of the other items that changed along the way, you do have this detailed landscape plan that I'll have Mike talk to in a moment. The sheet here is obviously the count, but it comes with a full landscape schedule. There's a zoning calculation for landscaped area and whatnot as well. We incorporated the new architectural drawings with the new materials that the design review board had recommended. Those are in the plan set provided. We updated a photometric plan to this new layouts and provided fixture cuts to you as well. We did have a meeting with the town planner to review his memo and his comments, just clarify some of the zoning calcs and some of the backup he was looking for. And so we did provide that as well. So there's not too many actual hard changes to the drawings or the layout to speak to, just sort of cleaning up of some of these loose ends. I will let Mike talk quickly about the landscape plan, because that was the biggest change. Just don't know if you want to go through the plant lists quickly.
Sure.
We roll up, you should get to your schedule.
Good evening, Michael Radner from High Point Engineering. Sheet L 1.0 that you see here, there was a request to change out some of the what we call exotic species to native, and we've done that, and I added a column that shows which of those plants are actually native. Native can be a subjective term. We were looking for basically northeastern native plants here. We try not to stretch the definition too much. So we've done that, and it was asked that we do a specific landscape plan that is biddable and buildable, and we feel like we've accomplished that with this plan and made some changes that go along with the site plan changes that Tim had mentioned. And then we've also provided a diagrammatic plan that represents our calculations on how we meet the landscape requirements. I think the one place where we don't meet the requirement that we're asking for a waiver for is in the number of trees in the interior of the landscape, the interior islands in the parking lot. So we're a couple of trees short on there because it is such a large parking lot. That's our final plan, so.
Thank you. And then one more item I did want to touch on. After the plans you received at the end of last week, the owner corrected me on the storage. One of the items, I think, that was mentioned that there's a lot of storage in the Liberty Liquors building today. I took that to be just the appendages, the sort of sheds that are built to take down. He corrected me after the fact that there's a whole bunch of storage internal to that. So I just want to show this up for the record. No changes to the layout, no changes to the amount of parking provided, but we sent to Sean just today an updated calculation. The retail in the liquor store really only has about 6,000 square feet. It's actually a little bit less. I think it's 5,700, but we just rounded up just to be sure we're covered. And the rest is really storage areas and whatnot. That retail includes things like the walk-in coolers, uses that really support the retail use of the liquor store, and then there's an abundance of just storage space there. So we broke out those two pieces. When we do that, our required parking drops quite a bit. It's almost in half for the retail use. So without the benefit of shared parking between the hotel and the retail, we only need 112 spaces. When we apply the shared parking factor, it shows we need 87. Still no change to what we're providing. Still providing 140, make sure we're covered, and some of those future plans we've talked about in the past. Other than that, that's the quick overview. I'm happy to answer questions on any of the new information, old information, whatever is the pleasure of the board, but I'll keep the presentation short for now.
Thank you.
Can you project the revised designs up there? Do you have them with you or no?
Which revised,
I don't know, they're
the architecture?
the last ones you see, yeah, the
I do
architectural.
have that. That was in the full plan set we provided, so we do a floor plan.
Yeah, I just don't know if it ever got put up there. That's good, thank you.
Sure. Oh, yeah, I'll do the 3D picture. Everyone
Yeah.
seems to like that. Oops, sorry.
Trying to want to make sure, because we've seen a bunch of different things, you know? Thank you.
Yep. There you go. So they ended on,
Okay,
they had some orange, more orangey colors. So here, so you see sort of the whites and grays and the traditional red brick on the bottom, which is the signature element of the Home 2. That's really the only place you see that dark gray and that green on at the drop-off.
But do you have a contract with Home 2? Do you have a,
We are in discussion.
you're in discussion. So if we approved it, it could be just Joe's Motel. It wouldn't have to be Home 2.
We're well down the path in discussion. It's a,
Well, discussions doesn't answer the question. You can have a discussion, we can have a discussion about anything, but that's not, there's no concrete that that's who you're going with. It could be, like I said, it could be a no-name motel.
So I think from the perspective of approvals, even if they are under contract with Home 2, things can change, and the approval is for a 97-room hotel, not necessarily a brand, because
I
also
understand that.
down the road in 5 years, the flag could change to Joe's Hotel as well. So
If it's a flagged motel, there's certain requirements that have to be made to the parent company, and you have to live up to those standards, and if you don't, you lose your license. But if it's Joe's Motel, you can do whatever you want.
I can,
I'll let you get into business. So.
yeah, sure, thank you. Ashok Patel, thank you for the question. So typically how it works is we go before a town approval, then we sign the contract. If you sign the contract before, there's all kinds of fees due to them, which are non-refundable usually. So when I say in discussion meeting, we made the application to them, it's pending approval from town. So we spent the engineering dollars behind specifically for this brand because we have a verbal and an application with them already. But it's just kind of the cart or the horse, right? So if you spend the money on the application, it's non-refundable typically. So we put it at that stage, then we hold it until town approval, then we sign the contract with them. I just want to clarify that, so.
Jim?
It's a good point. I mean, in some respect, you don't have a signed contract. Okay? So you're saying, We approve it, you'll get a signed contract. That's kind of putting the cart before the horse.
Why don't you make it a condition?
We could make it a condition.
We can make it a condition.
Yeah,
It just-
it'll be approved in 2 weeks after we submit, right? So, because part of the submittal also requires to send them the approved plans. So without that, they won't sign off on it either. So the bunch of stuff that has to go in the application for them to approve, and that's fine.
So that's like going to MassDOT, you need approved plans from the town before MassDOT will agree to let you change the curb cuts on St. Margaret Street?
So in concept, the location's approved. In concept, plans we've presented so far are approved, but the final set of plans has to go to them. So everything we've done, designed so far has been vetted by them.
Okay.
Is there another Home 2 motel in southeastern Mass?
Closest one, I think, is in Walpole
Okay.
on Route 1. Also Franklin, actually. I don't know if that's closer, but
Franklin?
Corinne?
A couple of questions. Is this a extended stay type of hotel?
correct. It's what we consider a semi-extended stay.
Okay, so what's the average stay that would be there?
So the Home 2 brand itself is about 3.5 to 4 nights average stay.
So when you went before the sewer commissioners, I don't know if that changes the sewer or not, if it's extended stay or if it's just, 1 or 2 nights. I would suggest or recommend that the type of hotel would be conditioned and not the name of the hotel. Because there are different types, the ones that are kind of just like, you spend one night and you're on your way, or you're spending a week and you're there, because to me, though, the type of hotels that is, it concerns me that it could change into more residential than it could be commercial. So I'm just concerned that we make sure we clearly state it's a hotel, whether it be extended stay or 1 or 2 nights. That would just be my concern, because we've seen a lot of hotels in the past, especially on Cape Cod, that have become residential, especially during COVID. There's a lot of hotels that were converted into residential, and that brings another impact to the town. So that would just be my.
What is the definition of an extended stay?
So extended stay hotel typically defined as more than 1 night. So typical hotels are usually like between 1 and 2 nights. Extended stays are, typically between 3 to 4, 5, depending on if it's business travel, family travel. Specifically in our part of the neighborhood, extended stay hotels are typically like 3.5 nights, on average. And that's because you got weekend travelers, right? So also after COVID, I think a lot of travel patterns have changed. So people are now taking like a Thursday, Friday off as remote work. And they're actually going out with families a couple days ahead of time. So that travel pattern is extended for that matter, which wasn't the case always. So which was always like Friday, Saturday, but now it's more Thursdays
I
also.
think we've noticed, actually, yeah,
So-
right?
So there's a lot of change in that model as well, where people are working 1 day from the hotel and then,
Can you tell me what the amenities are in an extended stay compared to a regular motel room?
so this hotel would have like an amenity sink. It's got a refrigerator, it's got a microwave. The room itself is about 70 square feet bigger than a typical hotel room is.
There's usually like a seating area.
There's
too.
a separate sofa area within the room bay. So there's there's actual more square footage per room for kids and families to spread. So the average room size around 400 square feet versus like 325-ish on the regular hotel.
Any other?
Just to clarify, I
Corinne?
just asked that question because I noticed in mostly all suites there.
Yep.
And that promotes longer stay, which is not a problem for longer stay, but it also promotes living more permanently.
Right. Could become a residence for,
Yeah, so that's the reason I asked the question, because it's like, oh, it's got little suites, it's a studio, and you can live there. Not saying that's what everyone would do.
Yeah, it would be a very expensive.
You may not be the owner in 5 years, and somebody else buys it and says, hey, I can make this whatever, so, I think there's gonna be a proposal on the table just for permission to make sure that that doesn't happen, but.
Yeah, I think on our experience base, like the cost of the project and what it entails, it'd be a very expensive, like, extended stay, sort of. If you want to live there like months at a time, it'd be a very expensive stay, right, basically. I mean, people use extended stay hotels for many different reasons. You know, there could be people in between homes. That, you know, their apartment's not quite ready, so they have to stay somewhere for a week or two. There's all kinds of reasons why people use extended stay hotels. You know, we've certainly seen those examples in our other hotels that we have similarly. But it does get expensive, so people, it's not like they'll stay for 3-4 months at a time unless they can afford it based on a budget, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Yeah.
Dave?
We've got a couple of just minor comments and then one a little more substantive. Landscape plan looks good. There's a note that says automatic irrigation system is included unless otherwise noted. I'd like to clarify that a little bit. I think I heard you last time say it will be irrigated.
It will be included, yeah.
So let us tidy up that note and just drop the as otherwise noted.
Sure. Yeah. That's no problem.
Lighting plan, photometrics, on the luminaire schedule, you don't list the height of the poles.
I think they're right on the plan, right next to the
All
pole.
right, I couldn't find them.
30 or 20,
25.
25.
I'd heard that, but if you can identify that they are actually on the plan, that'd be helpful.
Yep, so here, just zooming in right here, this 25
Okay.
is the height, wherever the fixture is.
Okay. And then,
It's too bright on some parts of it, though.
under table of site and building dimension standards, the required lot area is 1,500 square feet. The 97 rooms pencil out at 1,216 feet. So the sort of, let's call it quote, by right is 78 units and you want 97 units. That's a 19-unit spread. So you can call me persuadable, but I want to make sure that there's a public good here. And I'm going to flip right to the sidewalks again. Call me persuadable, but I haven't seen a defined public good. So I wish the town engineer could be here. It turns out Chris was right that that lot across the street is town-owned land, and I think it's like 30 feet deep. So town-owned land between a potential crosswalk and the St. Margaret Street intersection. I'd like to talk about that in a serious way. And I'd like to clarify on the south side of the building, is there a sidewalk there, or does the landscaping come right up the right-of-way line? If that's the case, some of your people may be parking on Cohasset and stepping out into a landscape bed. So can you answer that? Is there a sidewalk on the, spanning the south side of the building?
So on Cohasset Ave itself, you can see the striping here on the plan on the screen. There is just the slightest bit of asphalt, raised asphalt, not even a full Cape Cod berm, and then everything behind this white line is asphalt sidewalk before you get to the property line. So there's room to get out of a car and stand on pavement. They're not stepping into
How
a
wide is
landscaped island.
So the asphalt sidewalk is how wide?
I would say it's 8 feet. I'm not scaling it off, right? But the parking space is about 10 feet wide. So this area in here is the asphalt. And this line here represents the edge of pavement.
So I guess I'd like to have a heart-to-heart about the public-facing image of the building. I'd sort of like to see that Cape Cod berm become a vertical curb, a very nicely defined sidewalk. And I'd like to see a crosswalk near the southeast entry, or maybe lining up with that sidewalk that's on the east side of your building. Cross the street install a sidewalk with curb down to meet with the sidewalk on St. Margaret's.
I think that would, you're describing something here for a crosswalk, drawing in red.
Thereabouts.
Yep,
You could
plus-
move it, you could move it 10 feet to the right if you wanted it to align with that sidewalk coming down the side of the building.
Yep.
Someplace there, and then turning east. And just after you make the bend on St. Margaret's, you can pick up a poor but existing sidewalk on St. Margaret's.
Yep, with granite.
I'd like to see that happen.
There.
Now, you may have to negotiate with the town, because I think your right-of-way is a short distance behind your curb line.
Yes, on the far side, on the south side of Cohasset.
South side. So, I'm not sure what that would take on the part of the town. I'd like to hear the town engineer's opinion on all of this, but it sort of looks feasible on its surface.
The parking spaces that you're referring to, Doc, on Cohasset
Yes, sir.
Ave, they're not full regulation size at all. They're about 5.5 feet wide. If a car were to park there, 2 of their tires would be up on the sidewalk, or so-called sidewalk.
I'd like to solve that problem.
And if they tried to solve that problem, then you have to worry about the lane width on Cohasset Ave through traffic.
Well,
I mean-
maybe we solve it on private property.
Right, but the town has something to say about that too, and they should, because they should fix that. It's not legal at all.
I don't think this is a budget buster. From the crosswalk to St. Margaret's and around the bend a little bit is about 150 feet. It doesn't look like a crushing burden. And that would answer the question, what's in it for the town?
Whatever, I mean, what we need to do at the time in terms of permissions and designs and, so we can certainly look at that.
I guess, Mr. Chairman, I guess it's a question of whether we continue it and find a definitive answer, or we condition it and leave it a little bit fuzzy. We've been burned before.
Exactly.
Dan?
I like your point about making the crosswalk come straight down, right with their right-of-way, crossing Cohasset. Again, it's a town road, and then the town property on the south side, that grass strip, and I have no problem asking for a sidewalk there. The only thing is, I just want to make sure that if we can condition it, as long as, and help me out, I'm trying to think, that if we condition it, the approval, that the applicant would pay for engineering and installation, as long as the town approves it. If the town doesn't approve it, then they don't have to put it in.
I started out by tying this to that 19-unit deficit, and I'd really like to tie this down. Do you have a sense of the town engineer's stance on this?
I do not, but.
All right, I
we
wouldn't
can
ask you to
him
answer
soon.
for him.
We can ask him to come.
The reason, we were not looking
For hotel.
in
Hotel rooms.
Cohasset Ave, from the corner of Wallace, you come back and take the right on Cohasset, there's a sidewalk there. It goes in front of the, which is now, I think, Sandra Baker, the school dancer, or was, and then it's the vet office.
Right.
There's a sidewalk, and it goes right up to the driveway of St. Margaret's Church.
Right.
And it stops.
Right.
So this would just be a continuation of that sidewalk.
But you are.
So,
And Wallace doesn't have sidewalks, so I would emphasize St. Margaret's rather
Right.
than Wallace.
right, so that would give you through pedestrian traffic from Wallace, through Cohasset, back down to St. Margaret's.
That's a public good.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think this out, that if we put a condition that the applicant, and we'll ask, if the applicant's willing to do engineering and installation costs, and the town would accept it, that it gets installed, and if not, then it goes, does the project go forward without that?
That's a wild card.
I mean, if
That's
the
the thing about a
town-
condition rather than a continuance.
Right, but if the town is the primary obstacle, I don't think it's fair to condition it. You know, if we're the problem, then is it fair to deny based on, I don't know, it doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Didn't just
I feel
say
like we could
that
craft a condition that would be good enough.
his required parking is now reduced. So what if he doesn't take credit for those on-street parking? Why would he be responsible?
It's reduced, but that's only if they don't do any residential. Excuse me.
No, but he just came up with a new calculation.
I know he did,
Or
but-
something else, so what's the breakdown now?
They're not changing what they're doing,
But they
supposedly.
add the storage is what
Right.
was the key, correct?
Sure. So to answer your question, we have 128 spaces on the site. And the requirement with just the retail space and the rooms is 120, nope, that math is wrong.
87.
Sorry, that's my old plan. 112 is a requirement.
So you have 128 on-site.
Yeah.
The required is 112.
Correct. And that's-
Without the street parking, you have
Correct.
128.
Correct.
And without applying the shared parking, which is allowed by the town.
Correct.
It's a complementary use. I mean, liquor store will be busy at different times of the hour, so certainly we'll need all 112.
Corinne, are you saying get rid of the street parking?
I'm not
all?
saying get rid of it. but
Okay.
If he wants to take credit for it,
Okay,
it seems like we should make it legal parking.
Right.
But if he doesn't take credit for it, then it's
Gotcha,
on
gotcha.
the town's onus to make it legal parking.
okay,
But
gotcha.
if he needs it, even if he comes in later on to amend the plan, he's gonna be responsible for it. So it's kinda, it's
Mm-hmm,
hard to make him responsible for it if he doesn't need it.
yeah.
Jim?
Yes, Dan?
Did we hear back from the town engineer or anything about that grass lot? Because Doc did bring it up at the last meeting.
I went to the assessors. It's town property.
It is
Yeah.
town property.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was a big discussion at one of the town meetings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think Corinne was the
We
town
did a
planner at the
parking
time.
study, and we used
Yeah.
that for
Yeah.
potential parking.
But I didn't know if you talked with our last meeting, because you had mentioned the crosswalk follow through St. Margaret's, through the island, St. Margaret's, to St. Margaret's, crossing Cohasset. Where his crosswalk would be, just bring it down 150 feet. So we talked about that sidewalk with the engineer, and I didn't know if we had heard back.
The St. Margaret's from the dry cleaner to the other side of.
Yep,
Yes.
That's Mass Dot, isn't it?
that's MassDOT. There's no,
All this rubbish.
there's
Do
no
all that, correct.
crosswalk from one side of St. Margaret's to the other, crossing Cohasset Ave through that, I guess you could call it a traffic island. Yeah, the island's set back a little bit. You could theoretically put a sidewalk in there, but there is
You
none.
could drive over the island. The island is level with the street
it's
surface. I don't really
few
know
layers of
what
asphalt.
purpose it serves.
I'd still like the sidewalk on the south side, because the dry cleaner would be driving across the sidewalk to park.
Yep.
It'd be a flush sidewalk. And we've been talking about this since the 10th of last month.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just chatting with my client, so, in the discussion, so I think we're comfortable with a condition that creates the crosswalk that Mr. O'Connor was recommending coming across here, and then, again, subject to approval and use of the land, building the sidewalk to St. Margaret's, going around the corner. Correct. And this piece?
So it's a question of,
Okay.
what is the town engineer's feeling about this?
Yes, would you be,
That's a wild card.
In a Board of Selectmen.
would you be comfortable with subject to
No.
Subject to approval.
approval?
Well, I think to some extent it has to be, right? It's town land. Well, I guess, I don't know if it needs to be. I think it's this applicant is committing to construction costs for that, and it's town land, so it's a town sidewalk. You're just getting funded and built by somebody else. So it's up to, if it's subject to the approval, I don't think we want to have the whole project subject to that sidewalk being built, but obviously we can't build a sidewalk unless approved by the town to put in.
Well, how about we condition it that they engineer it, they install it, or pay for it? I don't know how the town would create the payment, but we've had other issues about payment issues. So you design it and then pay for it, whether who installs it, that would be up to whether the town would work on. So.
It'd be funded.
So the condition would be that the applicant would create a sidewalk across Cohasset onto the town property and create a sidewalk from the driveway of St. Margaret's Church, which is just a couple of feet to the left, as we're looking at them, back to the existing sidewalk on St. Margaret's. Correct?
How did we
Yes.
condition it down there at, in Sagamore? We had the same discussion with that sidewalk. What was the condition?
That was a Cape Cod Commission
Yep.
condition.
No, but we talked about the sidewalk afterwards, and it was a town road.
10 Canal
So
on-
we, so we came up with a condition.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was,
with
it was per the frontage, like whoever owned the frontage, it would be a percentage. It was actually a complicated one. The way that it was written, we can pull it up if you
Yeah,
want it
I'd be
read.
interested how we condition that.
But they committed to go all the way down virtually to the parking lot at the beach, is that correct?
Right, under the
That's
Brook
what-
Road, right?
That's
to-
what I heard.
But that also required town approval, that's what I'm
Right.
looking at. It's
Correct.
How did we approve it through the town?
I think what Dan has said was something I could support, that would say that it would be engineered and funded by the proponent and subject to the town addressing it.
I think we're operating in good faith here, so, sure.
I just want to make one more comment. I know you talk about public benefit. The hotel has a lodging tax. I don't know if you guys are aware, but
Yeah,
it
sure.
comes right to the town's tax base,
Yes.
which is significant in terms of a public benefit as well.
Yeah.
Along with obviously an increased tax value in whatever the commercial property tax base is, so.
Agreed.
If the parking lot stays as is, the parking lot stays as is, so there's definitely a significant public benefit, if you ask me, for the town of Bourne, right? So, thank you.
Thank you.
This is all still one lot, though. Liberty Liquors, and this is all one lot. Same owner.
Correct.
We had a similar case right across Main Street on Kendall Ray. And we required that developer to make certain improvements before we approved his project. And I think we have the same situation here. Liberty Liquors is a nightmare. Out back with doors hanging off, rusted, they don't even close. Just looks like hell back there. And I would say that should be conditioned, because this is all one piece of property. That building has to be cleaned up, fixed up, and not just painting a shed white instead of gray. Clean it all up, show us that it looks good, because I don't think you want a motel, the front of the motel facing that side of the building that looks like hell. It's certainly not gonna put the town of Bourne in good light to say, we approved a hotel that's staring at the backside of a nightmare.
I don't know that we can condition something for another property that's not as
It's-
part of this.
It's all part, that's what I'm saying, it's one lot, it's one piece of property. Might be two different buildings, same owner.
I heard the applicant said he was going to clean up that building.
We're already doing a significant amount of work as part of this to get that entire side, the old shed to be removed, that's not functional anymore.
Yeah, you painted it white.
We're gonna do whatever needs to be done so that it's presentable in terms of, if it's broken doors in the back that are not being used anymore, like whatever's needed, that will be done, because we don't wanna a beautiful shiny hotel, like you said, we're not gonna have it next to an old functionally obsolete building, if that's what it looks like today. We've been at this for about 8 months now, trying to get everything ready. When we get to the construction of this, everything else will be addressed with that building, because that building itself is gonna get its own facelift in terms of additional development, so, absolutely.
I'm not satisfied.
What did we require at Kendall Ray?
Well, one, he didn't put the streetlights up right away, so we made him put the streetlights up before we would condition to Kendall Ray. And then he put them up, never turned them on. So
Oh, okay,
we made
I
him
know
do
you're
that.
talking
Yep.
about Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking
How
about
could you
the,
forget?
yeah, I remember that. I
Yep.
thought you were talking about the.
So it's just, and just, if you have one property owner, and you
But
have
I
two
think
different
it's in
buildings.
his business interest to
I-
make these
of course it
changes,
would
things
be,
that you're
But
explaining.
we're not seeing it.
Mr. Chairman?
Dan?
Along the south side of the building, which Chris is talking about, and I agree, got to clean it up, and he's taking the sheds off. I just want to show you that the landscaping plan along that south side is extensive.
Yes,
My question is, on the west side, the rear of the very rear of the liquor store, you got some doors that are an attractive nuisance that are ajar and hanging off, whether kids can get back their animals, it's just take a look at that, that's what I'm asking. You know, you, because the big nuisance is those two sheds coming off, and the one that's got no roof and the vegetation's growing through it, those are all coming off. And I think we have a nice vegetation plan.
I remember being particularly pleased by that last time I saw this, so yes.
And any discussion with MassDOT along the northern part, along the bypass where all those trees come down three-quarters of the way down your property? Will you do any vista pruning on that?
I think when we get to the
You get to
DOT permit, I think we'll address it then.
Yeah, there you go. Because that is growing way out of hand.
Any other questions from the board? Corinne?
On the lighting plan, I can't, it's hard for me to see on here about the overspill, because we have a maximum overspill, and it looks like along the bypass, that overspill exceeds what we allow, and I'm just concerned about the neighborhood. We've had many plans, one is Dunkin' Donuts, where it looks like a landing strip. You know, people coming in and out of there, and that's residential over there, never mind commercial, so I just think the overspill exceeds, I think the maximum overspill is like.
Like 1 or 2 candles?
1.0.
Yeah.
Well, the new one on the board,
So I think we'll have to, the reason I'm pausing, we'll have to expand this, and I think if a light needs to move, it's fine, but right before the property line, we're at 1.2, 1.3 as sort of the max. I think by the time it gets to the edge of pavement, we'll certainly be on at 0.5, and we can demonstrate that.
I would just like that clarified on the plan,
Yeah.
because you can't enforce something that's not there.
Yep.
You know, if the overspill, if people complain about the overspill, we'll go back to the plan. We don't
Yeah,
see
strict
You have to look at it, yeah.
what it is, so
Yeah.
I would just like to.
And to add to that, I think if you go to Wallace, where Wallace is, it's like 4.5 over there.
And I'm not quite sure what the angle of those lights are and what the cutoff is.
Sure.
We've had quite a few problems with overspill in lights.
Let me carry that forward just a little bit.
Quite a
And this
few.
is a construction issue. We approved lights for, let's call a spade, at the Dunkin' Donuts on MacArthur Boulevard. You should go down there at night. We approved lights that, like you're showing here, have a 90-degree angle between the pole and the luminaire. Somebody authorized the contractor to put them in at 45 degrees, facing MacArthur Boulevard, facing here and there. It's obnoxious, and I think that's an unresolved issue. So that's a matter of making sure your contractor is under control, and some guy 4 levels below you says, I think I should get more light out there.
Sure.
We'll be watching for that.
Yeah, and I think that's fine. I think I'd have to look at this fixture, but I think I think they even make rigid fixtures that are only 90 degrees. I know they make some that tilt up, but
There's some that seem to have, it wasn't clear. Some were adjustable and some appear to be fixed.
yep.
But 90 degrees.
Those are, to me, those are easy conditions that we can add in. The lights
It's
are
just execution in this
90.
case. In the
Correct.
case we're citing.
correct. And I think that, to your point of the fourth man down a totem pole makes the decision. I think this board in the town needs the meat behind the approval to say, no, guys, you gotta go fix it. Otherwise,
That'll
you don't
happen
get
with
your
the
CO. Correct, otherwise no CO, right?
We're getting there.
Because we found that people don't return phone calls after they get their CO.
Correct, correct. So happy to do that, and the plan, I think, looking at this quickly, I think moving some of these fixtures around or adding cutoffs, that's easily provided as a condition that it shows those numbers at the property line and beyond the property line. They're not so far off that we'll have a problem, I think, trying to adjust anything. I think some minor adjustments, so if the updated final photometric can be a condition, we can provide that as well. Prior to construction, right, before a building permit, that's easy.
Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, we'll open to the public. Mr. McKenzie?
That's it.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Burho from 8 Wallace Ave. So some of my things have been addressed, the lights and the overspill, because where the hotel is going to be positioned, ground level, if you saw the picture in the Cape Cod Times with the angle shot, you could see my house in the picture. And so ground level, you can see it 4 stories up. You're definitely going to see, into my backyard, into the back of former Baker's Dance. My concern was the overspill of the light. That was one. Number 2, what's to prevent people from parking on Wallace? There's nothing to prevent people from parking on Wallace. Number 3, when Mr. McKenzie in 2008 was looking up to put a hotel, they said 1,500 square feet per unit, which would be like 3 acres. But the town is, doing a special permit, whatever, for this to fit on that lot. I'm just confused as to how we can go from, 1,500 square feet per room to whatever we've got now. Anybody? No?
I'm looking it up.
Okay. Yeah, so my main thing is, those of us who live there, we love the Patels, by the way. They've done a wonderful job with Liberty Liquors. Have no problem with the Patels. Have an issue with, as she brought up, this becoming a residential thing. Because in this area, we've seen it before. Hotels come in, then you got people living there, and it just snowballs. I love our town, but a hotel to me doesn't bring people in. They have to be brought in by something to stay at a hotel. You know what I mean? Like, I think we could have some more things in town that would bring people in. Bless you. So those are my concerns. My neighbor's here, my husband's here, and there are a lot of children in the neighborhood. There are a lot of houses with small children. They already treat Cohasset like it's a speedway. Another concern we have is if they're double parking on Cohasset, the bus stop is at the water department. And I suppose you could move the bus stop, but still I have the concern with that, and also at the corner of Wallace is a bike shop. People take their bikes out, they try to, they ride around the neighborhood, and I can just see this as, something waiting to happen. So those are mainly my concerns, just going to sit in my backyard and wondering if I'm at a football stadium. That's a concern to me. I think the hotel, the Hampton, it's great. It's on the canal, it's got a view. I don't know how many people want to spend money to look at the bypass and my backyard. That's just, from me. I am not opposed to, like I said, the Patels. I'm not opposed to hotels, you know, I'm not a not in my backyard person, I'm not like that. But you said for the public good. And I wanted to, you know, see from you guys what you think the public good of this will be. Will it attract?
At one point, we talked about the fact that the
Okay.
Bay Hotel is not gonna be there any longer, and the kinds of stays that people, fishermen in
Right.
particular,
Yeah.
might stay at something like this.
Right.
That's the one thing that came up for sure.
Yeah, I just, you know, if we're doing this on the idea that people are gonna, this will bring people to our town and they'll spend in our
Mass
town.
Maritime.
You know, most of the places around here close at 9. We don't have much of a nightlife per se, so they would conceivably come here and then, you know, maybe go on Cape or whatever, and then come back here to sleep, which benefits the town. I'm just not getting the whole, you know, thing for my own neighborhood. I want to make sure that we're all safe and, you know, everything's just, we can work well together. That's really my only concern. So,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Mr. McKenzie?
I was gonna answer a question.
You are wonderful neighbor, Mr. McKenzie.
Mr. McKenzie, Greg Abels, trying to stay in order of which, how the discussion went. Cohasset, Wallace Ave, I went out and measured. The parking spaces are 5 feet wide, 18 feet long. If you do it correctly, get in the middle lane. You can't open a door, and what she said is with the kids up and down the street, carriages, mother. So what I did, I own corner of Wallace. I moved the shrubs in so the people could walk around the area. Another thing we did was we allowed the people, the 2 and 3 family homes have no parking. They're on the street. We let them park on our property. So Cohasset Ave is out. You can't park on Cohasset legally, and if they take percentage of the parking, where is the people that have been there for the laundromat, the cancer doctor, where the bank was, and the homes, where they're gonna park? It says in the bylaw, it's shared. Well, apparently, these people live there, and they're open at 4 in the morning, so they will not get any benefit for on-street parking. And then they went to room size. I travel up and down the coast with 7, 8 guys. I get my own room. My guys get a stipend. They park, there's 10, 12 guys in a room. They're taking that money, put it in their pocket, and they stay, sometimes we stay in these rooms for months. So these rooms were designed for workforce 10, 12 years ago, in long-term stay, 2, 3 months. So, you know, and the other thing they brought up, then they use some of their retail space for storage. I own 9 buildings on Main Street. I permitted every one. I got no credit for any parking for storage. You know they're gonna take that storage and make retail. They're gonna have a restaurant. It's not gonna be filled with beer cans, believe me. It's too valuable a space, spending that kind of money, then it's just not gonna happen. So.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience like to speak?
Hi, I'm Monica Pepe. I'm also a local resident. I actually live on the dead-end street behind the liquor store. It's Franklin Ave. Our only way of getting to our homes is on Wallace. And so I have a lot of concerns about this project. I will be directly and severely impacted by it, and I realize that that's my own decision as to whether or not I'm going to stick around for it or leave. My property value may be impacted by it as well. I think the main thing I want to point out for consideration is that I think someone mentioned before there are no sidewalks on Wallace Ave, especially that stretch next to the Water District building. We don't have any sidewalks on Franklin Ave. We don't really need it. But there are 9 residences there. And I just want to make sure that we're not forgotten when all of this is being considered. Anytime we're walking up and down the street, I mean, I've almost gotten hit multiple times with the regular traffic as it is already. People do go fast around the corners. It can be hard to see based on vehicles that are parking on Cohasset Ave, whether they're there for the the Eagles Club or, parking across the street. So that is already an issue. There have also been times where that street is either severely restricted or completely blocked because of delivery trucks coming to the businesses there. So that's another issue. Our only way of getting around it is to go through parking lots, which isn't ideal. It doesn't happen all that often, so it's not a big deal. But I am concerned about the increase in traffic that we would have to deal with a 97-unit hotel, and then potentially down the line, additional residences being built there potentially. I've heard discussion of that. And so I guess the main thing that I would request is to consider not having that entrance to the parking lot for the property on Wallace Ave, because, again, that is our only way of getting to our homes. And I feel like any increase in traffic there is going to be more than an inconvenience. I think it'll be very problematic, again, for those 9 residences that are on that dead-end street there. So, again, I have my own concerns about this project. I understand a lot of time and money has already been invested in it, and there are a lot of benefits to the town. But that would be my main request in this project if it is to move forward, just to think about us on the dead-end street behind.
Yeah, that is meant to be a secondary exit. It's not meant to be primary. The primary should be out to St. Margaret's.
Sure.
Not
And I
that
know-
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
I know that's kind of how it is now,
If ifs and
and we
buts.
do have people that fly out of there currently. So, yeah, just,
It's a bit of a Wild West situation there, isn't it?
it is.
May I ask you a question you may know? Is parking on Wallace something that happens a lot? I mean, why? Why do people park there? What is the,
I mean, our stretch of Wallace, again, like leading to the dead-end street, there isn't really a whole lot of opportunity there. We do see people, I mean, just parked behind the Liberty Liquors building randomly, hanging out. I don't know the reason for that.
yeah, I can see that.
But there's, like, the Water District building is pretty open, so I think if anyone's going to park, they're going to go into that lot. Whether or not they're supposed to, I'm not sure, but we do have Eagles Club traffic that parks there, but that's, like, on their property. As for farther up on Wallace Ave, I wouldn't really be able to speak to that.
Yeah. Is-
I feel like
The
it
woman who
does
spoke
happen.
earlier, I don't know if she's still here.
Concerts at the park,
Okay,
Canal Day, because now they're having multiple things at Moses Bay Park all the time. And people will park on both sides of Wallace Ave, yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your consideration.
Anyone else from the public like to comment? Seeing and hearing none? Anyone on the board?
Yeah.
One of the people in the audience talked about the size per unit that we require. And in the bylaw, it does say 1,500 square feet per unit. When I do those calculations and then we read the deliberation or the comments from the planning department, it says it comes out to 1,200 square feet, which is less than required. Are they asking for a waiver officially? And where is that request? And we would have to vote on that separate. If that's true, if I'm reading it right.
Yeah, it was written into that, like, as a waiver of the density and a waiver, I think, for something else they were requesting. The parking island,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The depth of the parking island.
So that's a specific request, is to have less, to require less square footage per unit?
Yeah.
I think he did. In their application,
It said it
I
in
think they
the,
put it, yeah.
in the zoning table. It said how many,
On their zoning table that they give us? Okay. So that, I wasn't aware of that until she brought that up, so I think that specifically would have to be voted on, that we grant that waiver. The other thing is, I know it's not before us right now, the residential units. but that could impact the residential units when they do bring that forth, because they're talking about a mixed use in that Liberty Liquors, but that's not before us today, correct? We're not voting
Correct.
on that, so it's just.
Anyone else? Anybody wish to make a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Dan?
I'm just doing some homework here. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I've reviewed the project on the applicant of 21 STMBB Realty LLC. It proposes to redevelop an existing developed parcel at 21 St. Margaret Street in Buzzards Bay, map 23.2, parcel 86. The existing retail store Liberty Liquors is to remain, and the applicant proposes constructing a 97-room hotel. The project is located in the downtown district in the core sub-district. The project is determined to be an allowed use within the DTC zoning district under section 2820. Mr. Chairman, based on the planning board's review and the exhibits, testimony of the applicant, experts, witnesses, and the records of the proceedings, the planning board has found that the project is consistent with the Town of Bourne zoning bylaw 1230, site plan review 2800 downtown district, all applicable sections in section 2827, special permit criteria, section 2840, performance functional standards, and the 3100 lowland regulations, section 3450, lighting, and section 5 definitions. Special permit 1025 meets the criteria for special permit for the following: the pedestrian vehicle flow and safety has been met, the utilities and other public services are adequate, there are no impacted areas to the natural environment, impact upon natural development purposes is minimized, and the commercial abutters may experience minor impacts such as noise during construction. The proposed building is visually compatible with the surroundings. The project is not located within the water resource district. There is no impact upon the town's need for year-round housing. Therefore, I move to approve site plan special permit 2025 in accordance with the following findings, terms, and conditions. 1, the proposed project is a 4-story, 97-room hotel with amenities including but not limited to a continental breakfast area, outdoor patio, indoor pool. In the parcel map 23.2, parcel 86, is set 117,983 square feet and is located in the downtown core district. The maximum lot width allowed by right is 180 feet, and the planning board grants the lot width of 424.5 feet per section 2831. The proposed project contains 97 hotel room units in approximately 117,983 square feet of lot area, which results in a minimum lot area of 1 unit per 1,216 square feet of lot area. The ratio is greater than the minimum lot size of 1,500 square feet per unit ratios under section 2831, and therefore the planning board grants a minimum lot area 1 unit per 1,216 square feet of lot area, and is to waive the 1,500 square feet to 1,216 square feet per unit. The planning board grants a waiver under section 2872D for interior parking widths of 6 plus or minus feet. Conditions: 1, the plan is subject to all rules and regulations of the bylaws of the town of Bourne. 2, financial surety provided for stormwater parking and underground utilities and landscaping, estimated cost and assumption of a 10% inflation. The surety shall be provided either through an escrow account, bond, or otherwise in the amount and form acceptable to the town of Bourne Town Council. 3, a 3-year landscape plan shall be provided to the planning department, and the dead trees and shrubs shall be replaced within this period. 4, erosion control measures must be in place at all times during construction. Dewatering shall be used for dust control during construction, and local roads shall be swept as needed but not less than once a week. 5, coordinating with public safety officials as to the numbering and/or lettering of the buildings to assist with 911 emergencies. 6, the project must meet the Town of Bourne Board of Health rules and regulations. 7, stake the limit of the disturbed work area before construction and maintained throughout construction. 8, the water system requires isolated gate valves on each side of the new service taps on St. Margaret Street. 9, the sewer allocation was granted on 7/2/2024, and we defer that the sewer commissioners for adequacy of sewer capacity. 10, prior to issuance of a building permit, the Bourne Fire Department must sign off on the fire apparatus turning movement plan, and all Conservation Commission approvals must be met due to the flood zone. 11, prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit, an as-built must be submitted to the planning board showing all appurtenances above and below ground. 12, prior to receiving an occupancy permit, the design review committee must approve the final signage plan. 13, this decision shall be recorded with the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds or Land Court Registry, and a copy returned to the planning department prior to the issuance of a building permit. 14, This project is for an extended stay motel, and any change in use requires approval by the planning board. 15, create sidewalk across Cohasset to the town property, extending from St. Margaret's driveway to the, create sidewalk access across Cohasset onto the town property south of Cohasset, extending from St. Margaret's driveway to the existing St. Margaret's sidewalk. The applicant will pay for the engineering and construction costs, and it's conditioned that the town accepts the sidewalk proposal. The next one would be the lighting plan to be updated to show that the light does not spill on neighboring property and meets the bylaw prior to the issuance of a building permit.
Do we have a second? Any deliberation or questions?
I'll second.
Second by Liz. Roll call vote. Amanda?
Yes.
Yes.
Jim?
No.
Chris?
Yes.
Yes. Doc?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Corinne? Chair votes yes. We have to do a waiver?
It was a no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everyone's time and input.
Yes.
Next thing?
Yeah, you.
And definitely not voting for this next one, right? Yeah, for the
No,
MOA.
just that the motion passed. Second.
Academy saying I wanted to-
Nah, just, I don't even want to see that.
So, I can go. Next up is an application for site plan review, number 514, 21 St. Margaret Street. Application is for a change in number of parking spaces and a change of use to open-air parking area. Continued from June 26, 2025. And if you would like to,
Thank you. We've spoken to Mass Maritime after last, couple of weeks ago discussion. They've got a couple of special events coming up, October 8th and 9th, that they've specifically requested parking for. Although they would like to have parking available until the hotel construction starts for a longer period of time. I know there's a lot of parking discussions already, so.
yeah.
Yeah, this is, do we grant that kind of thing? I'm sorry, is that a select board thing?
Yeah,
Like-
it's a
Yeah.
one-time event.
Yeah, for a one-time,
Yeah.
for 2 days?
Jen, could you respond to that about the special event?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. One-time events are permitted through the Select Board, Town Administrator's Office, for a one-time event license, I believe.
Didn't you also ask until construction starts?
So I think the original application was for that. So they've asked us that they're severely short on parking. So they said, can you guys, we have abundance of parking. So they said, can you provide us parking until your future plans take place? Our construction probably won't start until late fall at this point. If we can get the engineering done, if not, it'll be next spring anyways. So that's the reason we had put the application in, to help them with the parking until we have our project commence.
Yes, and then what you've just mentioned was a different issue of a temporary parking.
So that was just mentioned to us like a few days ago, as
So
as a special request, that's
Sure,
all.
we just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I understand
Yeah.
that, so yeah.
Yeah.
That we can take up with
Yeah.
with the other board.
Okay.
No worries.
So we're here for your original request about
Correct.
parking for Mass Maritime until your construction begins.
Correct.
But we don't have any definitive dates. We talked about that too, right?
Yeah, and we will end it as soon as our building permit is pulled and ready to go. Correct. And you can condition that too, if that makes sense.
Any questions from the board? Jim?
Mr. Chairman, I mean, I get the special event, goes to the select board, I'm okay with that. But the issue is, we don't have anything definitive between you and Mass Maritime. I want to see something in writing. Not, you know, we're gonna talk about this, when the building's gonna start, they're gonna stop. Mass Maritime increases the student population, they increase parking throughout the entire town. It is not the town's problem, it is Mass Maritime's problem,
It's our problem.
okay? And it's our problem because of the overflow of cars. Mr. McKenzie goes through it all the time. All right, so I would say no, and I'll tell you, because every time, a special event, that's different. I think that's homecoming week. But every time the academy increases its staff, that school's not like a regular state college. It's military geared, military based, so they're kind of locked into Monday to Friday. And, you know, hey, when you get out of work on Friday night, you get in your car, you go home. And in the meantime, we've got other issues going on in town with parking. They've already got parking at the, right in front of the Marriott. They've got parking through Mr. McKenzie's good graces. I mean, he's done a lot for the downtown, but in the same respect, that you open air park, town, who's gonna police it? You know, you put this on Maritime, they fall through, they don't do it. So I will say no on this. Special events different, but open air parking, no. That's it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? Chris?
As I said before, Mass Maritime's problem has become the town's problem. And this happens every time they have construction down there. They've expanded so much, they don't have enough room to park faculty and staff. And so we've got 800 cadets parking all over. And they don't just park in Mr. McKenzie's lot, they park wherever the hell they feel like it. They park up and down Main Street. Saw a car parked there with Ohio plates. It was there for a week and a half. I just, no. I mean, they gotta find a place to go, but the Mass Maritime has to figure it out, not the town of Bourne.
Mr. Jim? I just want to add a caveat to that. The only way that Mass Maritime is going to address the problem they've created is by enforcement from the town of Bourne on tickets on cars parked illegally, parked there too long, and now they're gonna go to the administration's gonna go to the admiral and let them figure it out, not the town of Bourne. We've been fighting them for parking spaces for years.
Any other comments? Any comments from the public? Seeing none? Is there anybody who would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we deny it.
Motion from Jim to deny. Any further comment? Dan?
Yeah, I support you, Jim, but in the application and in the bylaw, it requires us to look at, this is under a permit, a site plan, not a special permit, but it does tell you to go look under the special permit criteria to see if it meets it. So again, the threshold of this is just a simple majority of those of us present and not a supermajority like the previous one, because it's only the site plan. But it does require us to review under the special permit granting authority criteria under 2827, and I agree with Jim. And under that, it says that the planning board shall find the issuance of the special permit, which is the site plan, consistent with general district design and performance objectives, including that the development meets one or more of the following criteria. And there's a list, A through G, and I can't find how it meets any one of them, let alone 2 or 3. So under that, I support Jim in his motion.
Is that a second?
That's a second. I just want to
Yes.
clarify that that's how we look at it.
Very long.
Second from Dan. We have enough members to vote
All you need is 5.
this majority, and do you want us, we can move forward and vote, you could withdraw if you wanted to, or?
Like I said, we were just being good neighbors. We didn't,
Trying to
we're not really
yeah.
trying to.
We understand. Yep, it's not you.
Yep.
Okay.
They came to us multiple times throughout the year and said, hey, if you guys have empty space, can we use it? And that's all.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to a vote then.
No?
No.
No.
Chris?
No.
Liz, Dave?
No.
Dan? Corinne?
No, we don't support the denial, or yes, we do support the denial?
Uh,
Yes, I support his denial. You always say
Yeah,
no.
It's a no.
So, yeah,
So,
No.
So no,
It's a no.
right?
Motion to deny.
yeah, the
Yes.
motion's to
Okay.
deny.
motion to
Yes.
deny,
So
I
I said the right
deny.
Yes.
So,
Deny.
so the motion to
Linda.
deny,
Motion to deny.
you need,
I said no.
No,
You need to say yes.
Yes.
So we'll have
You're
a,
gonna say yes, deny.
because you asked if you support. the-
I'm so sorry.
No, it's-
Yes.
one sec, one sec. So, it's a motion to deny. Amanda?
I'm so sorry. Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Liz?
yes, I deny.
Doc? Dan?
Yes.
Corinne?
Double negative.
Chair
Can I just
says
say
yes.
something, point of privilege, is that we've been working on Main Street for quite a while, 20, 25 years. And we knew that we were gonna get to this issue, a parking issue, and any parking created should be for the entire downtown. Mass Maritime's been eating up the parking. You know, I love having a college in the town, but, you know, it just can't be overtaken by just the cadets. So that's one reason I vote. I think any parking should be wide open for the entire town and not just for one entity. So,
I don't think it's put up a
And those of, remember when Mass Maritime rented that property previous to that, they erected a
Fence.
chain link fence around it, which was in violation of our bylaws. And they basically said to us, too bad, we're a state agency, we'll do whatever the hell we please.
Yeah, they didn't make friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Okay.
Well, 2 days a week.
Was that exciting?